In this episode, Golden and I discuss The Witcher Season 2. Full speed ahead.
The Omega Beam. Full power. The Omega Beam.
Welcome to the Omega Beam number 156. I'm your host, Oren Merton. So, The Witcher was one of the most watched Netflix original series when it came out. Just a huge hit with the fans, and that includes us. We were eagerly awaiting The Witcher Season 2, but due to how long these shows take to film in general, not to mention pandemic shutdowns, it took a while for Season 2 to get finished. But here we are, streaming on Netflix, which of course means it's time for us to discuss it. As with most of our TV podcasts, we start out spoiler-free, then go into spoilers. So let's get to it. I am here with Golden to talk about The Witcher Season 2. So I don't think it's inaccurate to say that you were very, very much wanting to watch Season 2 as soon as it dropped.
Well, I don't think I'd realized that it had already dropped, and when it did drop, then I wanted to watch it, yes.
This is one of those shows where Season 1 was a bit of a slow burn for me, but I really got into it. But Season 2, I was in from minute one, from the first episode.
It just kills me. Only 8 episodes.
I know. I'm sure they're very expensive. They take a long time to film. They probably only get a certain amount of budget. But the flip side is that I would rather a season consist of 8
really good episodes.
Really tight episodes than 22 episodes with 10 filler.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately is often what happens in like American network shows where they're contracted for 22 shows and they have a great story that runs 16 or something. So once again, the main cast is all back.
Yeah, they apparently took to heart that there was a lot of unhappiness about the timeline in the first season, so they definitely made it a little bit more linear this time, or if they had to jump off of it, made it very clear.
Right.
And even made some fun about it.
Right, they did. That was Yesker, the bard, making a song, and they said, well, the timeline's all weird. I think that because Henry Cavill did so well in Season 1, they gave him a lot more talking to do this time than just grunting and fighting. I think they show a lot more range. You know, one of the things about The Witcher as a class of warrior in the continent, in this world, is that they are supposed to have mutated so that they have less emotions or aren't as emotional. But what we learn is that they have all the emotions.
Don't necessarily show it.
Yeah, they just restrain them more. And I think Henry Cavill did a really good job of visually caring a lot for Ciri, who becomes basically his stepdaughter in this one. And he clearly cares about her. He'll do anything for her.
I think all of the Witchers.
Yeah, they all become
That's why it's
her surrogate fathers.
One of the episodes, it's just very hard to watch because of what ends up happening between her and several of them.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to do this non-spoiler and spoiler thing here. I think we kind of already got into spoilers.
We did?
I think. Did I? Or did I not?
Not really. I've been careful.
Oh, I thought I did. I guess I didn't.
No.
But, well, we'll do a little bit more.
I mean, you already knew going into the season that there is a mystery revolving around Ciri.
Right.
And that's kind of what the season is.
Right. What is the mystery?
You also have the side characters. You have something going on with Yennefer, which Yennefer is one of those that walks the line.
Right, we will get into in a moment.
Yes.
But yeah, whenever looking at how Henry Cavill played Geralt of Rivia, played The Witcher, it reminded me of something I remember Leonard Nimoy saying about the way he played Spock. He said he didn't play Spock emotionless. He played Spock as very emotional, just restraining it all. And I think that Henry Cavill did a good job of playing a character who the emotions are bursting on his face, but he's holding them. He doesn't want to be that emotional. You know, sometimes he'll get news that clearly breaks his heart, and you can see him literally like gritting his whole body not to show it. And I think Henry Cavill, I mean, he pursued the part, he loves the part, everything. And he's clearly, this is a role he's absolutely...
He's very passionate about it.
Yeah, and he's made... I mean, he plays it excellently. All of the characters, you know, Freya Allen, who plays Ciri, Anya Chalotra, I think is how you pronounce her name, who plays Yennefer, Jodie Beatty, who plays Yesker, the traveling bard. They all do such a wonderful job, and it's great to see them again. The effects, of course, are very, very good. This is a show that has a pretty significant budget, so they can afford to make everything look gorgeous. The scenery looks gorgeous, the monsters, the armor, I mean, all the sort of production design looks really good. The acting is good, the story is tight. It's not as gory as the first season, although there were a couple moments I did still look away, because gore is not my thing. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all spoiler-free I want to say. Really enjoyed it and watch it. Anything spoiler-free you want to say, or should we move on to spoilers?
I'm just looking up some things about some of the actors and actresses. The Anna Schaefer, who plays Triss. This is not her first fantasy world. It's not her first world in which she practices magic, because she was Romilda Vane in Harry Potter. So that's...
All right, so 3, 2, 1, getting into more spoilers. You'd mentioned Yennefer Walks the Line. She is really one of those characters who, in season 1, she's, you know, kind of an ugly hunchback, and all she wants is to be beautiful and powerful. And she gets it, and then she's not really happy with it. And at the beginning of this season, you see that she's lost her power, and all she wants is that power back. And it's not really a noble end. Now, of course, the thing that makes her more interesting, or not interesting, but more sympathetic in season 1 is that she falls for Geralt in a big way. And that comes back into play when
it's not just Geralt, because she also has a relationship with Istred. Yeah, who ends up betraying her in the first season.
Well, you know, there is that. And in this one, I think, again, I don't think much of her sort of moral fiber, or actually lack thereof, but she does have that change of heart at the end when she realizes that Ciri is not just a burden.
Ciri is special.
Right, and she's not just a burden to Geralt, but a child.
But she means something to Geralt.
Mm-hmm.
And because she means something to Geralt, now she means something to Yennefer.
Mm-hmm.
And they make the big spoiler here. The claim is made in the first season that I don't know if it was a soothsayer or whoever it was.
It was the dragon, the gold dragon.
So that, you know, they couldn't be together.
Right.
They couldn't be together as they were. They need something to hold them together or something to bind them. And Ciri can be that, because them both caring for Ciri means that they can be together. And then that means that they are more powerful.
Yeah, and this certainly set us up for season 3. That's for sure.
Yeah, left a whole bunch of things open.
Oh yeah. And I think that is a sign of good writing, in that it begins with an arc, it satisfactorily concludes the arc of the series while also pulling threads from it to leave open for season 3, which I think was very well done.
And they keep the relationships. Like Jaskier, you know, doesn't like Yennefer, and Yennefer doesn't necessarily like him. But that doesn't mean they don't respect each other, right. And they wouldn't do something to keep the other one safe.
Right, they have that bond from their travels.
Yes.
Which is played out and played through. The dwarves come back.
Yes.
Which I thought was
wonderful.
Yeah, it was fantastic. You know, I couldn't help but wonder. I mean, this is part of the books from what I've seen online, so it wasn't just for the story, or for modern times. But the elves are very clearly oppressed, which is not something you see in like Tolkien or whatever else, where, you know, elves are kind of the upper class and the almost celestial angelic beings. Here they are the refugees. They are the underclasses, and it very much dovetails with the way that some people who are refugees and are, you know,
I don't think they're going through the city and using magic to kill all the babies.
Right. So it's
Oh my gosh.
it's definitely
Can we say dark?
yeah, this show definitely goes dark, that's for sure. And of course, that whole thing was instigated by an emperor who wanted to weaponize the elves to begin with. So, he killed a baby to weaponize them to kill babies, and it becomes how many babies can we leave lying on the ground type of thing. But you figured it out before I did.
I
But
couldn't believe that the baby wasn't in the same room as her.
wasn't it? I thought it was in like just the other side of the room. Is that a second?
No, it was a second room.
A second room? Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, no, I would think that the baby would have been in the same room with her. Okay.
Yeah.
You're saying I figured out something.
You figured out earlier on, there's a demon who tempts three women, the leader of the elves, the leader of the evil empire, and Yennefer. And it's a demon called the Deathless Mother, and she's in a hut. And when I first saw the hut, I was like, oh, that's interesting. They've got a
they
hut.
describe the hut, that the hut moves.
Yeah, and
That the hut gets up and walks.
yeah, we see the hut and moving. I'm like, oh wow, that's a little bit like the the Slavic myths of Baba Yaga. And only when it actually did, when we saw its legs and everything, I was like, oh wait, that is Baba Yaga. Oh, she's Baba Yaga. That's who they're dealing with. It's easy to forget because everybody's got a British accent. It's easy to forget that this is in fact a Polish short story series, that this is a Slavic novel. They have like Chernobyls and everything, and every now and again you're reminded that these are Slavic myths that they're pulling from, as opposed to the more Northern Norse European that the Tolkien-esque fantasies do. But it's really good. I like that it's familiar in the sense that it's the kind of high fantasy, medieval fantasy that is familiar, but at the same time, it's got this, what I consider to be a really wonderful Slavic flavor that you don't get just from Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or whatever. It's this other flavor of it that really appeals to me. So, yeah, I think season 2 was absolutely wonderful. If you liked The Witcher, this is more of what you like. If I were to make any single criticism of season 2, and I do say this tongue-in-cheek, but if I were to make any single criticism, it's that there is no song as catchy as Toss a Coin to Your Witcher this season. Yeah.
You did get it a little bit.
You got some music, but it was...
the toss a coin phrase was used.
Oh, the Toss a Coin phrase was used, yes. But the actual song that the bard wrote...
No, it was interesting.
...was more of a history lesson rather than
it was
catchy
interesting
song.
More about the fire magic not being acceptable and them freeing one of the mages to see if he could bring Ciri in as well, and her being Yennefer having to rely on other talents,
right,
and trying to find a purpose that didn't rely on magic. And I think she was already starting to find that purpose before getting her magic back.
I agree, because it did look like in that end when she's making potions to try and save the Witchers, and she's
in her element.
Yeah, and I think she'd already made the statement that she felt alive and like she had purpose when she was teaching Ciri to use her magic.
Well, it wasn't very long.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
But yes, I at one point thought, well, okay, she's not going to get her magic, but she's going to find purpose in teaching Ciri how to use hers.
Right. I also think it's a wonderful arc of multiple seasons that in the first one, it's about Geralt and Ciri finding each other at the very end. In season 2, it's about Geralt, Yennefer, and Ciri becoming a unit together at the very end. So I think it's a nice 2-season journey for the three of them, the three main characters of the series, to become a unit.
We weren't sure what the faceless mother, deathless
mother.
The deathless mother wanted. And what we thought she wanted isn't what she wanted. She just wanted to go home.
Right. She wanted to go home. And she does.
Still may not be a good thing.
Right, which may be a terrible thing, but she got what she wanted.
Yep.
Just killed a lot of people on the way.
That, and I got that the creatures at the very beginning, when they were coming after Ciri, that they didn't want to hurt her.
Right, they wanted to bring her back.
They wanted her.
Right, they want to bring her back to the Deathless Mother because they're hers.
That's why she kept saying that she was having visions of being dragged.
Exactly. Yeah, well done. They tied it all together very well, I thought. Very, very well. Well, like I said, if you haven't seen it, and you like this kind of fantasy, this is definitely one that you will enjoy. You may have to look away a few times if you don't like gore like I don't, but it's worth It's worth turning away for those few moments. There weren't many. Those few moments to get the rest of it.
And again, we're only saying 8 episodes.
Yeah, it's not a lot. It's not a huge investment in time. One of my friends binged the whole thing in a day. So we didn't do that. We took a few days. We took a little bit more time.
I'm sure there are some people that started at midnight and didn't stop until 9 a.m.
Yeah, and they were done by morning. Yeah, we took, 4 days, I think? We watched a couple a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Over
I thought
the
was
weekend.
which was a nice pace.
Or I guess, the last couple days.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to binge it, you can. If you want to watch 1 or 2 a day, you can.
And you learn more about the Witchers and how their Witchers are created,
Yes,
too.
this one you get a look inside the Witcher society, and it's a good one. It was interesting. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And you get a lot more respect for Ciri, of course, because in season 1, though you certainly see she has some power, it's really more about her being the damsel in distress. She is not a damsel in distress so much this time. She's a woman with agency.
Well, even as a damsel in distress,
right.
She had power.
Right, she has power,
and
she has a sword.
In this season, they even say, we expected a stuck-up princess.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a stuck-up princess, but they also got someone who's not going to give up.
Right.
And that's what surprised the Witchers.
Right. Yeah, she's a great character. I absolutely love the character. So well played, so well matched for Geralt, because you can tell that on the one hand, she wants to do what he wants her to do because she wants to please basically her dad. But at the same time, she has her own will, and she's going to do what she wants to do sometimes anyway. And it's a very authentic relationship.
Yes, it's a very nice relationship to see play out and to see grow.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Golden.
You're welcome.
And that's it for this episode. You can find the show notes at theomegabeam.com/156. If you like this episode, please leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Your reviews help people who like this stuff find our podcast. If you have any comments or suggestions, please drop us a line at info@theomegabeam.com. Be good to yourselves and each other, and we'll catch you next time.
The Omega Beam. The Omega Beam. Full stop.